Now, do you usually feel a victim of this occasion, whereby you feel like your family members are always on your throat, like they want you to support them no matter what? You know, if it's about their rent, they're on you. If it's about their food, anything and everything, they're actually upon you. And you usually feel like, hey, guess what? I would love to support them, but at the same time, I would also love to, not go broke, also to support myself and family members. You know, there are two types of family, by the way. We have the family that you create and the family that you left, right? So it's always good to understand. Now, this video is all about, okay, how exactly can you support them, financially without you going broke? This is a real topic. This is a real discussion. I've ever tried to make this video again. Should I call this a part two or continuation of what exactly I was talking about? Absolutely yes. All right. So, by the way, if you come from Africa, you can absolutely relate to what exactly I am talking about. All right. So, all what you need to do is to relax, watch this video to the end for you to understand. All right. By the way, did you like the video? Because the statistics are telling me some of you guys are watching my videos without subscribing. Hit that subscription button and also like the video. Let's get into business. Now, what exactly are you supposed to do? The point number one, never forget about this, all right? Never ever forget about this. If you find yourself, it's a must that you have to support them, because we come from different families. There are some of guys who are watching this video right now and they have been given the responsibilities of educating their siblings. They have been given the responsibilities of taking care of their parents. You see, you can get yourself in a situation whereby, even if we talk about not supporting them or supporting them obviously with management, you cannot really shake off them, okay? You have to support them, okay? So if you're in such kind of a situation, then have a budget for them. What do I mean? Like, say, you earn a certain particular amount of money. Therefore, you ought to plan about yourself for your growth and your development. And also you have to sort of give them a hand on the same. So have a budget for them. If maybe say your uncle calls you sometimes, maybe your aunt, maybe your grandmother, maybe your mother, your siblings, whatever, just have a budget for them. So once you have a budget for them, guess what happens? Hey, if let's say you set aside like 30,000 and say, hey, this 30,000 usually goes for the black tax. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, that money that we usually send to our siblings and home and what usually called the black tax. Now, the point is this. Now, if you can set aside 30,000 somewhere for that purpose, and if these guys happen to exhaust that money within 1 week of the first month after paying payment, they have to wait until the next month. Because the problem that happens is this. First of all, you have an idle money somewhere. And then the moment they call you, obviously these are people we love. These are people whom we appreciate in our lives, okay? Then the moment they tell you, hey, send me this, do the other, you usually feel that compassion. You usually feel that it is good to feel so. But the problem is you feel so and then you have the money that is easily accessible, all right? So it's good to always have a budget, and it's good to inform them, provided before you even make a decision, say, hey, guess what, guys? I usually have a budget for you guys. So if you happen to exhaust it within the first week, we are done. If you exhaust it within the first 2 weeks of the month, we are done. If you can manage to distribute it all through from day 1 to day 30 until I get the next salary, so be it. Rather than just, someone just calling you at a very weird time as far as the man is concerned. Someone calling you at 21st, the day 21st, you usually paid after 30 days. Probably you do not have a salary. Probably also training on your side. You're trying to make the ends meet, and probably you've been thinking about the salary advance or something of sort, and then somebody is calling you and they're asking you for some money and all those kind of things. So have a budget for them, and that can only apply if it is a must that you support them. Okay, now we go to the second point. Now the second point is that avoid enabling. Let me stress this out on what is enabling. So avoid cultivating this behavior, this bad behavior as far as the finance is concerned. Have you ever been in a situation whereby you realize that there's some sort of a parenting that can actually be problematic to the kids? Kids don't grow responsibly. They cannot even account themselves. They cannot even go out there and hustle or maybe do whatever it's required of them to do to cater for themselves. They're just there. They are grown-up guys with beards, with all those kind of, but they cannot even do nothing about their lives, okay? Now, there's some of the things that you can actually do for your family members and actually enable them to develop this character that can actually be detrimental, not only to them, but also to you. Because if you actually go ahead and sort of show somebody, or rather give them fish rather than showing them how to fish, they're always gonna be on you all the time and every time. By the way, I can actually point out more than 4 family members that I know whose family members are actually outside this country, Kenya, right? And these guys are actually abroad out there, and they're sending some dollars and whatever, euros and pounds and whatever they're selling to those guys. These guys, all what they do is to drink. All these guys, what they do, they cannot even think about them. They just have a piece of land somewhere. They cannot even think about coming with a real estate whereby they can have a consistent production in terms of the cash flow from that specific, sort of an infrastructure that they can bring up. They're just drinking, buying cars and having just fun and all those kind of things. Even just doing very, very simple thing, these guys just depend on them. And again, these guys happen to have married. And then it's quite funny that all of them, they're actually four boys. And all of them, or should I call them four men or four boys, whatever, for all of them, they actually live in one compound, and their children whom they have brought forth with their wives, they're actually being educated by their mother and the father. And whoa, I'm telling you, this is just nasty. It's messy. It may seem, or it may appear as if, hey, they're just eating life with a big spoon. Everything is okay. It's provided on the silver platter and everything. But let me tell you one secret. Whenever time comes, okay, because let's appreciate the fact that, hey, we aren't here in this world to live forever. One day we will get out. And if you cannot empower those who are following you, and if you cannot empower those people who matter to your life, then when you face off, when you get out of this world, then it will be a very hard time for them to actually survive by themselves. Guess what they usually think about? Selling that property. Have you ever seen such kind of a family? Whenever they get off that person who usually used to help them, the only thing that they think is about liquidating the property. And guess what happens? They don't liquidate the property to value add the other. No, they do so just to sustain the life that they have actually been having it. And that's why you find that some of the family or some of the parents, they just go, and then you find that the property they have actually acquired all that long time has actually been squandered. So it is good to avoid enabling. And how exactly do you avoid enabling? Avoid enabling by simply trying to inculcate a value to any money given out there. I actually have a friend of mine who is in US, and this is what he does to his brother. Hey, he says, okay, you need my 10,000. Okay, this is what I want you to do. By the way, at the back of my compound, there is sort of, you can just go mow out there and loan that loan, you mow that loan or something. You just attach value to that specific money. So that, and by the way, this can also be very good characters you can calculate into kids that can actually grow with them. Attach any money given, attach value to any money given. A kid borrows you 5 shillings, make sure that at least you attach value. Hey, you want to do that? Then fine. You want to then go brush my shoe, or you want to have 10 shillings, you want 20 shillings, okay, fine. Then I want you to do 1, 2, 3. Once you finish that, then I'll be able to give you. So the next time they're asking you for money, they'll ask you, hey, what do you want me to do for you to give? You get what I'm saying? So they always know there is always a value attached to that specific money. And once they get it, also calculate the value of actually budgeting, managing that money. Just because I give you 20 shillings does not mean you go eat all of it at the same time. No, you can actually eat 10 today. You can save your 5, and then you can actually eat another 5 or something. Try to inculcate this kind of a character. And by the way, I am telling you, you'll have yourself an easy time as you move along the way. So avoid enabling. Number 3, actually do what? Be firm but compassionate. Remember one thing, these are our family members. We love them. I do support them supporting people. I support the fact that people should support their family members. That's quite an amazing thing. But at the same time, it is good to be firm. Firm in the sense that, hey, if you say no, it's a no. For example, family member ask you for a thing that you obviously, so you know and understand your family far much better than we do. If you know somebody is asking you something that obviously they can be able to think around and be able to acquire that thing by themselves, then it is good to actually sell that sense into them. They'll say you are rude, they'll say, hey, you are not compassionate and all those kind of things. That's for sure. But at the time goes, you actually inculcate that character inside of them. So be compassionate and at the same time be firm. Be firm in the sense that, hey, once they know, hey, if this guy says no, actually it is a no. No matter what we do, if he says it's a no, it's a no. All right. And at the same time, we usually say, if maybe they are your kids and they usually look forward into you supporting them, or maybe let's say they're your siblings and something of sort, it's always good to make sure that at least you show them that compassion. You do support them, you appreciate them, and also be hitting them with some senses time to time. You hit them with the same sense. By the way, have you ever had some from guys, you have like your brothers or sisters in abroad, and then you have this guy at home, his work is just drinking and all those kind of things? It's quite weird. So it's always good, love them, don't just like throw them away. These are our kids, these are our brothers, these are our sisters, these are our parents, these are whatever they are. But at the same time, be firm. Don't let be yourself be twisted by them at any time. And it's always good to scrutinize the reason as why they're asking that money. Is it justifiable? Because there's some of the cash that can be asked, and then you realize it's not even justifiable. But if it's a justifiable amount of money that they're asking, probably they're asking you to support them to start an venture, or maybe and they have a track record of them being responsible for their money. So therefore, for that, you can actually go ahead and support them. After all, we are here to help each other, and I fully support that. Number 4, always encourage independence. It is true. And let me tell you one thing. Do not expect everyone to support you the moment you try to push this sense into them. Most of them, they'll think that by the way, have you realized one thing about this life that you're living here, especially this 21st century? These guys who usually talk the truth are usually perceived as if they're mad or out of the senses. We say they are callous. They are. Some of them are even called sociopath. Something of like they just people nowadays, they are not so comfortable accommodating the truth. They cannot accommodate the truth. Okay, but if you can actually go ahead and sell the sense of independence, try to sell the idea of, hey, guess what, guys, yeah, I know you look forward to me supporting you in one or the other, but let me tell you one secret. There is no way I can be able to accommodate all your needs. There is no way actually, guys, I'm able to support you and your families and all those kind of things. You ought to look for something that can actually sustain you and the family that you either have or maybe you want to create in the future. Always pump this sense into them, and whenever you pump this sense into them, also try to make sure that it's followed by sort of repercussions if they go against it. Okay, you can actually have a very good sitting with your brothers and sisters or whatever they are, and then have a very good discussion, a very mature discussion. But immediately after that sitting, then everyone is violating exactly what you actually talked about. So whenever you realize they are violating that, also make sure that you also withdraw that what you did promise if they were to do this or the other. That is what you're actually supposed to do. And when you say independence, it's always good to ask them, hey, you are back at home, or maybe we are here. What can you actually do? What is your ability? What is your compassion about? And by the way, have you ever tried it? Okay, and how much will it cost to start this? And by the way, have you ever tried it before? What are the track records? When you try to actually scrutinize that information, and then you can actually see and see, hey, these guys, I can actually support them in terms of a business, in terms of a venture, in terms of investments, whereby these guys, because let's be sincere, even if you're a billionaire or whoever you are actually, in terms of, there is no way you can actually when I say fully, be able to meet anyone's needs. You cannot, that's for sure. So the only way you can actually do is to actually empower them. Once you empower them, they can actually do things by themselves. Okay, and by the way, before I even go to the next point, we have also these guys who let me not go there. Now, the point number 5, set a clear expectations and boundaries. It's always good to make them understand, hey, there is a clear set of boundaries and expectations. It is good to make sure that you do not let, I had, there was a certain a client called me sometimes back, and he was living, I don't know whether in New Jersey or something, was in US. And he told me I made a mistake. I asked him why. I actually told my sister, my sister actually separated with husband, and I told my sister, like, guess what, my sister, I will be able to support you with anything and everything you want. Probably you said that out of love, or maybe you are angry because, I don't know, he just said that. And that statement was actually taken with deep. And guess what? Anything and everything, just like he said, was actually asked for by the sister. It is not bad if you have the potential to support. It is okay. But the point is this. It's always good to make sure that you set a clear expectation. Say, guess what? Hey, for the next, let's say you have a brother that has cleared the form 4 and they have just gone in town to look for hustles and what. I tell them, hey, guess what? For the next one whole year, I'm going to pay your rent. Look for food, look for clothing, and all those kind of things. You've already set a boundary and you've actually set the expectations. But if you leave it open like that, they do not know to what extent can you support them. If you just say, hey, you just go to Nairobi and look for a job and then I will support you. Or go to Lagos and look for a job, then I will support you. You've not actually quantified what amount of support you're going to offer them. But if you tell them, hey, guess what? Hey, don't think about the rent. For the next whole 1 year, 365 days, I'm going to cater for your rent. You think about food, think about what you're gonna dress and all those kind of things. Guess what? They already know, hey, my rent is catered. Or maybe say food and rent is catered. Or, it's always good to make sure that at least you have that understanding. The last one but not the least, hey, guess what? Always, if it's possible, provide a long-term solution. Maybe I've just talked about that. If you realize your family members actually have their heads together, you can actually support them a business. You can support them by starting a business, and you can be able to actually do a very vital thing to their lives, and they always remember you. Because at the end of the day, if you do not empower them, they always be on your neck asking you for a support. That's it. For now, it's a goodbye. But don't forget one thing, you can always pick my number from the description of this specific video. That's where my email is, as well as the number, and you can call me if you'd like us to have a discussion about business, investment, and anything related to exactly that. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.